Welcome to Empirical Peapod.
Did your driver lock up when you had it before?
No.
Sometimes you'd open it and it would go pop, pop, and then he wouldn't close.
That's my biggest fear.
It's not great.
You've had that happen?
I have had that happen.
Did you have to go to the emergency room?
No.
Oh.
I would never go to the emergency room.
Well.
So one of the things I find fascinating about people is their will to survive.
Right?
Because I'm usually like, but what if I just died instead?
Yeah, I get that.
Like when people are like, oh, what's your plan for the zombie apocalypse? Like, to die. Mm-hmm. Like, why would I want to live in that world?
To not make it, yeah.
Yeah, what is the point? Just seems silly. Selfish even. But we're here today with, I presume I know your last name, Katie Boki.
Yeah.
It's like that, right?
There you go.
Somehow spelled exactly how it sounds.
Yes.
This is exciting, actually, because you do a lot of really cool things. And I feel like I want to start with the cool things, but I don't want to skip over the beginning. But I'm also kind of like, but the beginning, it takes so long to get into something cool. Let's talk about at least this thing. Earlier today, when we were waiting to start recording, you got an alert that was like, hey, there's missing kids in Streamwood, and you had to potentially go and deal with that.
Yes.
Even though, spoiler alert, you're a firefighter, not a look for kids guy. And I know we just talked about it off air, but why would you particularly have to go and deal with missing children?
Because I have a dog that is on a canine drone search and rescue team to find missing people. So we get called out a lot.
That's crazy. Did you train the dog for that, or did you put him into a special program?
No, I trained her. She was a pet for 2 years, and then my fire chief went to a meeting, and the team did a presentation, and he was like, "Hey, you have a dog. Go check out this team." And then here we are. So I've trained her into this little monster.
Was there a curriculum you had to do, or?
Yeah, there's they make you come out for 6 months and watch, and then you have to be like a victim, because there's a disaster search and rescue, and then a missing person, like a tracking team.
But now the dog's still a pet.
She's a pet still, but she's a working dog, so.
I've never really dealt with it other than a friend of mine had a service dog that went to school to be a service dog. It's the dynamic seems odd. It's like crazy that animals can kind of do that and be like, it's my day off. I can sit at home and just be a dog. And then all of a sudden you get a text and the dog's like, God damn it.
She does know, like, when my phone goes off, she's like, but so it's kind of a disadvantage that she's a pet still, because she doesn't have, like, she does have that off switch, and like an actual working dog, they're just like
anxious
programmed
all the time.
to, where she will.
What do they do? Like, what's the difference, I wonder?
So
it
like
still lives somewhere.
An actual working dog would like live in a kennel at your house, like in the garage. They'll build a kennel, or in your basement, where
That sounds terrible.
Well, it's a working dog, where she will sleep.
I couldn't imagine going to work and being like stuck in a little office like this for 8 hours, and then going home and be like, oh, now that you're home, you can go to your kennel.
Go to your other little cubicle. Yeah. Well, that's the life of a working dog, I guess.
I wonder what they talk about.
I don't want to know what they talk about.
I do, especially your dog. I'm like, do you believe this asshole sends me into buildings and looking for children all the time, and then puts me home in a goddamn kennel? Ridiculous. Well, not your dog, I guess, but other people's
her
dogs.
Friends.
Her friends for sure. The working dogs. Did you live in the Oswego area your whole life?
Yes. Yeah, in Boulder Hill.
First generation?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Where in Boulder Hill?
Over by Thompson. Well, so until second grade, I lived over by Long Beach. Really? Windrock Pool, back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's still there.
Windrock is still there. Well,
is it?
Last I drove through it was. That's been a couple of years, but
yeah,
I feel like it's still there.
Yeah, that was like the ghetto. There was like the Civic Center and then the Windrock. I'm
always amazed at how one tiny neighborhood somehow does have the nice side and the less nice side.
Yeah, so I grew up like on the not nice side, and then moved up to
To the nice side.
a little bit nicer side.
Yeah. It's only like a couple streets away.
Yeah. It's where the sidewalk changes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you went to Long Beach then,
I went to Long Beach and Thompson. Yeah.
and Thompson. Did anything substantial happen in your life?
Nope. Absolutely not.
That's good. We can just gloss over all that. Well, but there's something nice because do you remember the transition though of like going from even though it's a small move, it's still a move. Like especially those days when like you're friends with the people around you. Mm-hmm. And while technically you could get around all of Boulder Hill pretty easily, some parents are weird.
Yep.
So it's a matter of are they going to let you I just never talked to my parents. I lived in Fox Chase and we would walk downtown.
You were in the rich part?
The rich,
Yeah.
sure.
You're
yeah.
the rich kids. Yeah, we didn't talk to you.
We didn't even see us until high school.
Right? I didn't know you existed.
But like me and my friend we would walk outside of the subdivision and we would cut to town across the river.
Uh-huh.
And we would just cut through the river, which was disgusting. Also, it's always hilarious because the river is fun. Do you fish?
I used to.
So you understand what fish is.
Correct. I understand what fish is.
See, in the river, have you ever fished in a river?
Yes.
Have you ever waded in a river?
Yes.
So sometimes
I've looked for dead bodies in that river. I'm sorry. Just.
Then
I know what's in the river.
even more than anybody. But you can take a step and go from like your knees to over your head.
To dead.
To dead, yes.
Yes.
Look for dead bodies in the river. Oh my gosh. So even that, like, how does that fall under firefighter?
Well, it was, I guess when we got that call, we didn't know it was a dead body. It was just a missing person. It was down right by the tap house. Like, that's where kids went in, and then we got called to get on the boats.
Sure, but where was the fire? Like, this is the literal...
Well,
we can literally use this phrase, hey, where's the fire?
I mean, we don't just do fires. We do generalized helping of the people in emergency situations.
Is it kind of like a blanket thing for most of the services? Like
yeah.
EMTs,
Yeah.
and police, and
Yeah.
fire, like... That's kind of why when they dispatch, everybody kind of goes.
Yeah.
And just to see what they can do.
Yes. So I'm also a paramedic. So
Like yours, do you have to have a license?
Yeah.
Or a certification for that?
Yeah.
I feel like you do too much.
I don't.
Listen.
Maybe, probably.
We've talked for 2 minutes. I've decided to judge you as much as I want.
Perfect. I've done the same.
That's probably much worse. But yeah, do you remember that transition of just moving like literally across the neighborhood, or was it like nothing and you just had the same friends still and did the same stuff?
No, it was a big deal because it was like I guess at Thompson it was people from Boulder Hill School and Long Beach, like then you went together, and then in high school it was like all three, like Eastview, Boulder Hill, Trotter, everyone.
Yeah, I went to the cool Trotter school.
You did.
All those cool kids.
Yeah, you were like the farm people. The farm and rich people.
The farm.
And we were like the hood.
The yokels.
Yeah. Whatever.
The farm and rich people. That's hilarious. It's probably not inaccurate. At least at that time. Like, we're still poor white trash. We just had an okay house because it was new. But even that is crazy because I've been thinking too, I'm like, I know we came up together through high school. We don't have to pretend that we were like close friends or anything. But you know what I remember? You were an uncomfortably good athlete and you always ran the laps. And that made me feel a certain
That's
way.
what you remember?
That's what I remember. 'Cause we didn't have a lot of classes together, but we were in gym together, and like me and Matt Bloomquist would walk anytime they made us run. And there'd be Katie out there just lapping us and killing it.
Wow. All right. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can have that memory.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, when you got into high school, do you remember at that point? Did you already have a path you were thinking of taking, or even younger, or were you just kind of like trying anything you could?
Well, I always wanted to be like a vet.
Really?
And then that was a lot of school. And then I was like, oh, I want to be a chiropractor, which is also a lot of school.
Yeah. There's another person from our grade with that's named Kate.
Yeah,
Who's an
Kate
amazing
Player.
vet.
Yes.
Kate Player is an
Yes.
amazing vet.
Yes, she is. And
Are you
she has
friends with her?
horses. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because she
Yeah.
originally started with horses.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I always wanted to be like her.
She's a cool kid. Like, she's
Right?
awesome.
She's so awesome.
I said kid make me feel like an asshole, but she is awesome.
I'm gonna tell her.
That's one of my favorite conversations. Like I really learned a lot talking to her, and like kind of what you were just talking about too, like with the dog, and like it's just a working dog. It's what they do, and I'm over here like, but they should have a better life. Like, well, they don't even have an opinion about it.
Right.
So, but yeah, so then chiropractor.
Yeah.
Too much schooling.
There was a lot of, yeah. And
Do you
then,
have an aversion to school?
No, I'm just not that smart. So
I don't believe that's true.
I have the attention span of a potato, so.
All right, I'm gonna trust what you say.
Uh-huh.
Let's say goldfish.
I mean, there's different variations of goldfish. Like,
Different
is it one
variations
of
of
those,
potato.
like, big, like, cheeked goldfish? Or, like, am I a feeder goldfish?
When I said it, I was thinking like a beautiful koi fish that people don't
Oh.
realize is a goldfish.
Okay. Those
Like,
are goldfish?
Those aren't goldfish.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, also, I've said so many incorrect things on this show.
Like the goldfish from Pinocchio?
Oh, yeah. What is that?
It
fish's
has a name.
It does. I can't remember it. I remember the cat's name is Figaro. I cannot remember the fish's name. Or why they end up in a whale's belly. But Pinocchio's insane.
Yeah, that was a lot of weird stuff in Pinocchio.
Listen, you used to could do illicit drugs at Disney and just write stuff. And they're like, this is the best thing we've ever written. And then
Yeah.
30 years, or at this point, 50 years later, we watch it and we're like, this is weird.
That's a little messed up, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the boys, what was the...
Boy Island over there.
Yeah, Fantasy Island with all the boys.
Yeah, you turn into a jackass. See, swearing and drinking makes you a jackass.
Yep.
Learn the lesson, kids. So after chiropractor, after giving up 2 of your dreams, that was during high school though? Like you genuinely remember like, oh, this is kind of the path I think I'd like to go.
Yeah, yep. Then I crushed my own dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always better when you kill them instead of letting somebody else
Right.
crush them.
Right. Yeah, so there was that. I also, I wanted to go away to school, and my parents were like, that's expensive, and you're probably not the brightest crayon in the box, so maybe just, go to Wabanzi for a little bit. And I'm like, you can't be a chiropractor if you go to Wabanzi, so, meh.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, but
A
that's
lot
what
more
you
has to come
think
after.
when... Yeah.
I can't believe that that your parents would say that. I feel like you're projecting onto them. Maybe they're
No,
dicks.
they didn't want me to go away to school.
Because they didn't want to invest in you.
Well, I mean, it's a big risk. I feel like they already invested in me enough, so...
By the time you were 15?
Yep. That's it. That's all you got.
Like, look, if you don't get some shit going by the time you're 15...
Hey, I've
you're-
seen your report
that's it.
card. Come on.
Did you not do well in school?
I passed.
In my brain, since I've decided what your life was... because I just said I know that you were at least a good athlete.
Yep.
Whatever that means, you could run a lap and whoop the shit.
Because I ran.
Yeah, 'cause you actually did what you were told.
I was
But in my head, I would have presumed that you were a good student also.
I was an okay student. Yeah.
C student?
Maybe B.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I was always a C student until I realized that you could be a D student and it's not any
And it's
different.
just the same. Yeah.
Who
There you go.
cares?
Exactly.
So after chiropractor, dreams went up in flames. What did you decide after that?
I was kind of lost.
Did you finish high school with kind of no real path then?
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, so I went to Wabanzi, and then I went to AU, and I did not finish my bachelor's. I have like 12 hours left.
Was there something you were going for?
Just business management.
Yeah.
So the day after our senior prom, I got in a car accident,
Oh.
and the fire department came, obviously, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So then I was like, I want to be a firefighter, but there were no I was like, girls don't do that. So I worked at a bank for a while in
Did
collections.
you feel that then? Like girls don't do that?
I did, yeah.
Because even when I found out you were a firefighter, and I mean this in the nicest way, I'm like, do you mean this adorable little lady is a firefighter? But even then, I was like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah,
So you worked in a bank?
Yeah,
That's like firefighting.
totally the same thing. Yeah.
Did you, there's also like all the jobs you had mentioned were like feeling like you're doing something, right? Like that. I hate to say like it feels like it matters, but like that's what it feels like. You're doing something that's important
Right.
for people at large, versus working in the bank, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I
Right.
felt too. Like when I would work retail too, I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hate it.
Yes.
Did you hate working at the bank?
I did. I didn't like work. I didn't like sitting at a desk. That's not me.
And you were a personal bank.
Well, I did collections.
Oh,
So
gross. You
I
did the
know,
worst job there.
I know. Like it was kind of fun, but then I got
Yeah.
to be sad after a while.
Yeah.
Like people like the things people would say, like,
Right.
"Oh my,
That's one of those jobs
whatever,"
too.
and I
that
was like,
it's
"Ugh,
similar to sales. Like the
still
better
need your
you,
money."
the
Like-
better you get at it, the worse you feel.
right? Yeah. It was
That's how sales
horrible.
was for me. Some
Yes.
people love sales. But
Yeah. So,
how long did you work at the bank?
oof, 6 years. Yeah, 6 years.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, you're about just about in your mid-20s.
Yep.
Did you do anything after the bank?
Well then, okay, so while I was working at the bank, I got onto Montgomery Fire Department.
So you were working at that.
Yeah,
You at some point.
Finally,
At
when-
some
yeah.
point, you got over
right.
while killing yourself
Actually,
at the bank.
okay, so what had happened was they opened a new bank, the bank at Orchard and 34. It was Castle Bank back then.
Yeah, I used to go to
And-
that bank.
Right.
There was
awesome.
a girl that worked there too that I was friends with. I can't remember her name, but she dated another friend of mine, John.
That's a good story.
Yeah. I will shut up now, please.
So when they had the open house for the bank, there was like a bouncy house, and the fire department showed up, and I was on my lunch break in the bouncy house because that's what you do, and when the fire truck pulled up, I was like, oh my god, the fire department's here.
You're like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So I got out of the bouncy house and
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. What do I have to
You
do?
were in the bouncy. You are a 5-year-old.
I literally was in the bouncy
But
house.
you already had an affinity because of the car accident
Right, yes.
years earlier,
Yes.
anyways. But you put that in the back burner because
Yeah.
you're like, girls can't do that.
And then when I saw them pull up, I was like, here's my opportunity. I'm going to find out. And the guy was like, oh, get on Montgomery. Like, they'll put you through medic school. They'll get you to your fire stuff. And they take everybody. And they did.
Really?
Yeah.
So you joined. Did you quit the bank then, or did you have to go through
No,
schooling?
I kept working there.
So because you had to go through a bunch of schooling,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
While working, so
Yep.
you can pay bills and such.
Yep.
What was that schooling like? You just said medic and fire training, right?
Yep. So you do like your EMTB school, which is just like a semester at Wabanzi is where I did it. And then the paramedic school is through Southern Fox Valley. It was at Delmore. That was like a 9 months, maybe 9-month class. I don't know. I don't remember. And then your fire, like your state fire certification stuff.
So
Like
is
an
that only a
academy.
state thing?
Is it what?
It's only a state license.
It's state by state, yeah.
So there's different rules everywhere.
Right, yeah, yeah.
I wonder how does that work? Like if somebody calls you to go to another state.
I mean, it's all like the basic, like,
yeah. Like we need help. They're like
the
hey,
bread
don't-
and butter's
we're not-
the
we're not gonna
same.
be
There's
sticklers
just like,
here. We
yeah,
need help.
right,
That
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. That's awesome. So you said it was like 9 months to do everything?
Just for paramedics. So this was like over a span of. So I got on Montgomery in 2007, and then I finished paramedic school in December of 2010. So it was like,
So like 3 years?
yeah. And that was like working full time and
Yeah.
going to school at night and all that stuff. So,
Were you living at home during that or were you on your own?
yeah. Both.
You had lived 2 places?
No, like for part of it, I was on my own, and then back home, and then out again.
Ah. Yeah, that's our generation.
Mm-hmm. I would totally move back home if I could.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always fascinated me how it's like mostly an American thing
Yeah.
that like people are like, gotta live on my own when I'm 18. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm like, you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. Like,
Right.
whatever makes sense to you. Why would you go back home?
Because like there's food and no mortgage and yeah.
Mortgage is the
amazing.
worst.
Yeah.
I bought a house a while back, and I think I lived there for like 2.5 years, and I was like, bleh. I don't know.
Yeah.
So mortgage things in the pits.
Yes.
I also don't like being responsible for the things inside the house.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and like it all just breaks.
It does.
You-
At the
you
same
don't-
time.
Yep. And you, man, it's so stupid how much it all costs.
Uh-huh. And how much you don't know about stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always one YouTube video away from being an expert at anything.
Oof,
So
not me. Not me.
you don't. So YouTube's this website on the internet, and you can type in whatever you want.
The
by the way.
interwhat?
So it took 3 years. So then you're not like, how does that work? Are you employed in 2007, or are you like something that they're just putting through school? Like, how does that work?
At Montgomery?
Yeah.
So you're it's like volunteer, so you're paid on call. So you get a little
Okay.
pager and then
Yeah,
yeah. So you get a check ish.
Yeah, my friend Nick did that. He was a volunteer for a long time.
Yeah. Where at?
I don't know.
Oh.
He worked with me at Best Buy in Oswego. So Oswego or Montgomery, somewhere around there. But that would have been before that. Or during that. All things are possible, but I have no idea. His name was Nick Allegretti. I don't know.
Oh my god, I was on Montgomery. He lives in Ottawa now, or he's on Ottawa.
He's in Ottawa now?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So yeah.
Yeah, Nick Allegretti.
that's Nick Allegretti.
Yeah.
I worked with him at Best Buy, and it was awesome because he always had his pager. So like he would in
Yes.
the middle of work he could just piss right off and be like, I gotta go do fire stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like Nick. He was a cool guy.
Yeah, he was super cool. He
He's
lived
great.
over in Seasons Ridge,
Oh really?
I think.
I believe you.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I'm not gonna look into it. So then after all the training and stuff, now do you leave the bank and become firefighter proper?
So I left the bank and worked at a private ambulance company.
So
Because-
the training you did that also include enough to be an EMT?
Yeah. So you do your EMT stuff and then your paramedic stuff, and while you're doing all that, you're also doing the fire stuff.
Is it all required, or did you just do it that way?
So most full-time departments, you have to be a paramedic as well as have your fire stuff.
Okay. Is there like?
Well,
Like
now
a-
it's a little different because they're desperate for people, so they'll be like, you could just be a paramedic, we'll send you to a fire academy or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so it's wild because I'm thinking about like even as a paramedic and what you have to do like when you go to certain scenes, like certain horrible scenes. Because I don't know if you listened to Silver's episode, but she works for Aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
And I was fascinated to see like kind of how those two things work in conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
Because a paramedic is not the coroner, and the coroner is not Aftermath,
Right.
but they are all kind of
There's a whole lot of working.
there's a lot of crossover
yes.
and like stuff like that, but like they all sound terrible. Like,
Yeah.
when did you realize, or did you ever realize, like, oh, the reality of this is the reality of this, and it's a lot to handle?
They kind of warn you right away about what you're gonna
Is that all in
get
schooling?
into.
They're like, hey, just so you
Like,
know,
yeah.
it's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, real life is rough around the edges,
Yeah.
and it's all stuff you're not supposed to talk about, right?
Right.
Like bodies in the river.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, did you eventually leave the bank? Do you still,
yeah.
You still work at the bank?
I'm not working at the bank anymore.
Okay, good. Are you still at Montgomery?
No, so when I got hired full time in Hillside,
Hillside?
Hillside, yeah.
That doesn't sound like it's around here.
It's not. It's 290 in Mannheim, like just outside of the city, sort of.
I like the word Mannheim because it makes me think of Mannheim Steamroller,
There's that.
which makes me think of Carol of the Bells.
There you go. What a happy thought.
Today we're just word associating while we dissociate from life.
I'm still in the back of my mind trying to figure out the name of the goldfish in Pinocchio. So
Yeah.
it's like right there.
Yeah. I hope
It's
by
right
the
there.
end of this you have found it. And while keeping that on the back burner, I like that part of your brain is working on it.
Right.
While the rest of you is dealing with this. So, is that just a matter of there was an opening, or how did you end up in Hillside?
Okay, so back then, in the day,
How long have you been there?
10 years.
Holy
It'll
Christ.
be 11 years. Yeah. So everyone wanted to be a firefighter back then. So like you would take a test and there'd be 400 people for one position.
Yeah.
So you would just test every weekend, multiple times. It was just like chaos. Like I remember going to take Aurora's test and there was like 2,000 people. And they're like,
Wow.
we're not even hiring anybody. We're just making a list because they have to have an eligibility list.
Wow.
So
Similar,
yeah.
is it a union?
Yeah.
I say it sounds like trying to get into a trade union.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pain in the ass.
Right. So it was just, I was testing everywhere. I didn't even know where Hillside was when their test came up, and I was like,
How
oh,
mad
whatever,
were you
I'm
when
going to
you
take that.
realized it?
Yeah.
Like,
And my
the
mom was
first
like,
time you drove up, and you're like, God damn it.
yeah. My mom was like, you're not working there. That's a bad neighborhood, and whatever. And I was like,
Good, there'll be
okay,
lots
I don't
of-
even know where it is.
there'll be
So
lots of fighters.
cool, I won't get hired anyways. And then look at that. But yeah, I don't remember what he had asked me when I went on that tangent. So
Perfect. Do you wish your mom wasn't so mean?
she's not mean. She's so nice.
She said that
She's just very like.
She said you're too dumb to go to college.
She's very just
She
like.
said you can't work in Hillside because of the racism.
She's just very like matter of fact. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. Girls don't do that. You're not working there. Was it Cleopatra? It was Cleo. Wasn't
Cleo.
it? Cleo.
Cleo sounds correct.
Not Cleopatra, just Cleo.
I think just Cleo.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least our ADD matches.
Right?
Was
Yes.
your mom, when you initially said you wanted to be a firefighter, was there not necessarily pushback, but she was like, girls don't do that?
Yeah, she was kind of like.
Can't imagine where you got it in the first place.
Like, I don't know. I think she just wanted me to be like a normal, like, get married, have kids, do
Yeah.
the right thing, and I've done none of that.
Yeah.
So.
Do you feel like you were kind of resistant to that, or it just didn't go that way?
I'm not resistant. It just never happened for me.
No. Maybe next time.
Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. I mean, there's still time, right?
I have no idea. Honestly, it seems like it. Well, what I mean by that, like, of course you can meet somebody and have a wonderful relationship. But again, reality is reality. Once you get to a certain age, it's more dangerous to have children.
Right.
For the baby and for
Yeah.
the mother. But I've got a lot of friends that are like in their early 40s that have been having kids. It seems like it's more tangible and safer, at least
Yeah.
than it ever was at any other point in history.
I got my tubes cut out 2 years ago, so I will
Oh.
not be having children.
Perfect. Also, you can always adopt.
But yeah.
Plus, in this day and age, like, it's such a... I feel like I'm trying to become more comfortable with the idea that no matter who you end up with probably has kids at this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm not against anything like that, unless their kids suck. Because today's theme is reality. Because guess what? Some kids suck.
Most.
You say most? Yes. I like that you stopped yourself. No, you're right. Kids are terrible.
Whether they're your own or they're not, they're kids. You know, and that's their job is
Sure.
to suck the
I
life out of
agree.
everybody around them.
Yeah, they eat your dreams
Right.
and they just crush your soul.
Yes.
Cause I work with kids. I've worked with kids for a while now, so can confirm.
So you have no soul
No.
or dreams.
Yeah, well, I work with special needs kids, so actually it's a little
Aw.
okay. better.
Yeah.
Because they're not dicks just to be dicks.
Yeah.
They're accidentally dicks, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's easier to be like.
And they're like honest dicks. Like they're not trying. They're
It's
just
the
like,
best. Like this
hey,
kid,
you look really stupid in that today, and you're like, oh, well, I know that's honest.
this
So
kid on my bus, all he talks about is like he wants to have pizza and donuts and ice cream. And I'm like, yeah, those are all my favorite. And he's like, you need a healthy. You gotta eat healthy. He's like, you can't. He's like, no pizza. And I'm like, I can have all the pizza. I'm an adult. He's like, no, Tim, you gotta eat healthy.
Aw.
He's making me do push-ups in the bus with him on the seat. And I'm like, I need you in my real life. But yeah, I like that kind of honesty because it's hilarious.
Right.
And
yeah.
it's sincere and not mean-spirited
Exactly.
at all.
Yeah.
But also, like, all day, every day, I couldn't handle that.
No.
Especially a baby. Like, babies stink.
Babies are terrifying.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So earlier I said, was there an aversion to that? You said, no, it just didn't happen. And now we're learning the truth that you hate the idea.
I don't. I just never found my person, and therefore didn't feel the need to have a child with a person that wasn't my person. So
Yeah.
now I have
you
nothing.
dated? Like we
Yeah.
talked, like, I know we not skipped over, we brushed over a lot of stuff, but you're extremely busy during all this time because you've been working towards some amazing things and always keeping yourself busy and successful. Like, whether you enjoyed what you were doing or not. But did you, at least have you dated in your life?
Yeah, I've
Just
dated.
nothing that's ever, obviously we haven't done it successfully yet.
Right. Yeah, I've dated people.
Cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you learn when you do this kind of job or the life coaching stuff is to let there be silence, because if you're silent, the other person will fill that space.
Mm-hmm.
But you're immune to that,
Yep.
which I don't like.
Why?
Because I need you to fill that space. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to edit out all these long pauses where it's like, is he
Right.
talking to her?
I'll just
still?
awkwardly stare at
Yeah.
you while you're trying to panic silence.
I love being stared at awkwardly.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
I will stop talking the next 10 minutes and just make you uncomfortable.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen.
You say that, but like, I look like this. You'll get uncomfortable first. So one of the things too is like, I always felt like I probably would have had kids, but I've never felt comfortable enough in any relationship I've ever had where like, oh, me and this person could probably make that work.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Like, you just like, not that this relationship doesn't work, it's just like, I don't see that part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I think is fine, because I do think that, every relationship is different and it has to be what it is. But I feel the same way where like, it just wasn't in the cards this time.
Yeah.
Because I do believe like in multiverses and not
Yes.
necessarily reincarnation, but like there's a million versions of each of us.
Exactly.
And I find comfort in that. Do you actually agree with that? Or
I do. Yeah, no, I totally do.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about
Tell
it.
you, I don't know. I just think that we're on this plane, and I think it's continuing and just different. And you're always going to be with like your people, and you'll find them. And if things don't happen now, they could happen again, or in a different time. With I don't know.
No,
It
I
made more
100%.
sense in my head
I,
than when I
well, I put you on the spot.
word vomited.
Yeah, I put
it
you on
out.
the spot also. But I agree completely. Like, I believe that anything you can think of in any scenario exists out there.
Mm-hmm.
We happen to only experience this existence subjectively because it's, at least in our brains, this is where what we call us is anchored. But the existence is so much bigger and so much more than just this.
Right. Yes.
And I personally find comfort in that, where like, okay, this version of us, at least up to now, hasn't made it work in a healthy relationship or done these other things, but there's versions of us out there that have.
Yes.
And I find that I feel weird even saying it, but I find that comforting, because I don't feel like I'm missing it right now,
Right.
because I do whatever it is I do.
I feel like this is like maybe if you didn't have what you thought you wanted here, like maybe this is a stepping stone to like then you're gonna get it right in that time.
Yeah. Do you believe in past lives also?
Yeah. I think I've done messed up in past life, and that's why I'm here right now.
Really? Do you feel like you're suffering in this life?
With my bad juju being punished.
Yeah. Do you have bad juju?
I kind of have bad juju.
In what sense?
Like, I have, like, bad luck, but, like, it's good. Bad. Yeah, that also. Did not make sense.
Well, because good luck is just luck.
Right.
Then how you decide to define it is puts the whatever morality on it, good or bad. Because I've always had uncanny luck, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but just always like
always something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I think maybe that's what mine is.
It's probability based, basically. Like if the probability of things blowing up is slim, they're gonna blow up. If the probability of something good happening is huge, it's not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah. There you go. I like that. That's more accurate.
So it's more probability, but even in that, like you learn to hopefully you can learn to not look at it as a negative, like bad. This is bad luck, because I think all that exists is luck. Like
correct.
And this is new to me also. Like just today, I was like, I'm so sick of. I'm not necessarily cynical. Like I am a positive person, but it's almost like I pretend to be this cynical. You know, you've already heard of me berating myself and like making jokes, and I love jokes, but I want them to be separate. Like I think jokes are okay. I don't want to be this negative guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like you just said, you've got this bad juju, and I'm curious where you think that comes from, or how it even manifests within you.
So my father always says like wherever I go, chaos follows. So like I feel like there's like this little tornado of not uncanny luck is what he calls it. Like if I go somewhere, there's always going to be something that happens, and
that's awesome. I love chaos.
Yeah.
The stress of chaos makes me so excited.
My life is chaos, so
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, but you're doing that.
Yeah, I volunteered for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. So maybe I'm just in the right place at the right time for the chaos.
I think that...
Like maybe the chaos knows.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if we pulled that string far enough, if it's almost like you're a calming conduit, actually. Like, because the chaos is already written wherever it's written.
Correct.
So just because you find yourself there, it's just as feasible that you find yourself there to smooth it over, not just to be caught within the chaos. Or like you're not creating the chaos.
I'm just meant to be there to help it.
Which is,
I like. I enjoy.
You could think that just as easily as being the tornado.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't think you go around causing chaos tornadoes. So tell your dad to stick that in his ass.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, you're actually a conduit for calm.
I like that.
Yeah, you can take that with you.
That sounds way cooler. Yeah.
So I'm also very curious what your training looks like to be all those things, an EMT, a firefighter, because like you've got to carry people out, you got to wear a lot of equipment, like you know, and you're putting your life on the line every time. That's too much to think about. And since you were a teenager, you've been like, this is what I want to do. You crazy, crazy person.
Yeah.
But what's the training regimen look like for something like? And do they start while you're in class? Do they start the physical training as well, or is that when you actually work somewhere full time and they start training you however their particular is?
So when you go to an academy for the fire department, it's like a paramilitary. Like you do PT in the morning and you do all your training. There's like classroom, physical stuff.
Yeah. PT.
It's all like very regimented. And then at work, we train every day. Like we have it's just always training, nonstop. And then we all work out together in the afternoon on shift.
How does your shifts work? Like, what do your shifts look like? You're just on call 100% of the time?
So it's a 24-hour shift.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's a typical day, like during the week, would be rig checks, training, lunch, training, and then then we could work out at 3, and then after that is our time. But we're running calls that entire time.
Right.
So.
And you basically live at the firehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's 24-hour shift, and then are you off for a day, or?
We're off for 48 hours, so 2 days off.
Okay, so you work 24 hours, 2 days off, 24 hours, 2 days off?
Yep.
Do you get paid hourly or salary?
Salary.
Which is, we already covered before we got on that it's too much based on the car you drive and you have your own house.
Not really, but...
Of course not. Like, it's one of those jobs, like, I put a lot of jobs in the same category. Teachers, garbage collectors, firefighters should all have more money.
That would be great.
I didn't put police in there.
Aw.
I know.
Why?
I feel like you probably love the police.
I do love the police.
You're allowed to.
You don't?
I want them to get their shit together better. And even that is such a general statement that applies to like a 5% probably.
Yeah, there's, bad ones and everything. There's bad firefighters. There's bad teachers.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. We'll put police in there.
Yeah.
I don't mind being wrong. And then listening to somebody that makes sense. I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying.
Just a generalized statement, yeah.
Yeah. So what you just said too is you start with rig check?
Oh, so yeah. Or we're, okay, so in Hillside, since we're one house, everyone has to jump onto...
One house as opposed to...
One firehouse.
Like, as opposed to...
Like, Oswego has 4 fire stations, and Hillside has 1.
Would you, if you worked at Oswego, would you be assigned one house, or do you work wherever they need you that day?
I believe you're at the same house, and then maybe there's like a rover that will go.
Yeah, like if they need help somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hillside only has one firehouse.
Yep.
Is Hillside really small?
It's smaller. Yeah. So we do a lot of because it's there's no, like, Oswego is very big and open, and Hillside's just like a small. Yeah. So we depend on the other towns around us, like Bellwood, Maywood, for mutual aid all the time. So we like all help each other out. Yeah. Where Oswego will send all of their departments or stations to a call where we'll be like, hey, Bellwood, we need an engine, and Westchester, we need an ambulance. Like, we all help each other.
When the call, like, how would that, when a call comes in, do you have to physically call them, or are you able to, like, do you have gear set up to talk to them already?
Yeah, so it's...
so you can talk town to town.
It depends on what the call is. So,
Sure.
like, a lot of this situation would be, we have, like, an ambulance call. So our engine follows our ambulance to every call. So if we're on an ambulance call and we get another ambulance call, we'll need a mutual aid ambulance. So then we'll get on the radio and say, hey, to our dispatchers, can you find us another ambulance from another town?
Yeah.
So that's where that comes in.
Do you have a specific job, or is everybody trained? I presume everybody's trained in everything. Because I know, like, there's somebody giving orders, there's somebody set up the hose, somebody's designated to go in, right?
Yeah. So it depends on where you're assigned for that day.
Okay, so it's not based on call. It's based like today you're doing this.
Right. Today you're driving the engine. So
Right.
as the engineer, you know that
Have you got to drive the engine?
Yeah.
I feel like your 5-year-old self was going crazy, trying to remember the seriousness of the situation, but also being in heaven.
Yeah. So every morning, the captain or lieutenant will be like, "This is your rig assignment for the day." Like when you're driving the engine, you're responsible for getting water, pumping the water, getting everything set up. If you're backstep, then you're responsible for going in first, grabbing the hose. Like, it's all set, and your responsibility throughout.
Have you operated the hose before?
Yes.
I presume you've done every job.
Yeah.
well, so I have a video game, Firefighter Simulator. No big deal. So I get it, what it's like to use the hose.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, right?
But it's got a hell of a kick, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Do you know what the actual kick is? It'd be weird if you did. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like, I feel like it's got like upwards of like a 40, 50 pound kick. 25
Yeah,
pound kick.
it's a lot. I don't know the exact. I mean, it's
It doesn't matter. Everybody has Google.
like 100 psi.
Google's
I don't
another
know what the
website on the internet
oh on
where
the,
people can look anything up.
on the interwebs.
You can ask
yes,
any question.
I was going to look into this jujule you speak of.
Usually. What's your favorite job to do? Ooh, if you were gotten to use the ladder,
Yes.
they call it something else. I'll bet.
No, it's a ladder.
Boring.
Like a ladder that you set up, or the ladder on the truck.
like on the truck.
Yeah, I hate that thing.
You hate it?
Yeah.
Well, I presume like if that's coming out, it's worse than we thought, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So, also with that, there's like ladder trucks that have like the big bucket at the tip
Yeah.
that you can stand in.
Right.
Ours is just a straight
Just
stick.
a straight ladder.
So you
That's
have to
what
go
they
up there,
call
and there's
it.
like
See, they call it a stick.
there's foot paddles that you
Yeah.
put down, and then you're just like laying on the ladder. And if it's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you afraid of heights a little
I
bit?
am afraid of heights.
Yeah. Do you wish you made better choices for career?
No, because like in the moment, like your adrenaline's just going, and
Yeah.
you don't realize like you're on the peak of this 3-story roof that's on fire, and you're carrying all this shit and climbing up a ladder, and then afterwards you're like, whoa, like that was not cool.
Yeah. So then you've also got to be the guy. Because we talked before, like girls just don't do that and whatever. Which clearly you've broken the stigma, at least for yourself, like which is amazing. Have you gotten to be the guy that charges in with the axe?
Yeah. I like doing
So
that
what you're
too.
telling me is
That's pretty
they
cool.
just let the girls do anything.
Yeah, we all have to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I interrupted you. What do you enjoy doing the most?
I don't know. I guess I like going in first with
Yeah?
the nozzle. Yeah.
With the nozzle?
Mhm.
Didn't you run the nozzle from outside?
Well, I mean, you're dragging the nozzle, the hose.
Yeah.
Nozzle. Yeah.
But don't you shoot it from the outside in?
I mean, you can. It depends. If you have like heavy fire blowing out the window, you're gonna knock it down a little bit because
Sure.
that
Okay.
obviously.
But the goal is to get inside, at least to the bottom floor.
Right.
Depending where the
to
fire's
where,
at.
yeah,
Yeah, to actually put the
yeah.
fire out.
But it would behoove you to hit it from the yard.
Right. And
Hit it
remember-
hard from the yard.
Hit
That's
it
what they say in the biz.
Hit it hard from the yard. Also, remember, kids, don't shoot at where the fire is at. Shoot at the base. Otherwise, you're doing nothing.
Well, I mean, no, because you can break up the smoke explosion, like a backdraft, like that's all building up. So if you can stop that interaction with the fire and the smoke, you can stop that explosion.
Explosion.
So you hit anything.
Listen,
Have you seen a smoke explosion?
No. I was about to tell
Oh.
you that I'm not smart. And I understand the word backdraft because it was a movie.
The movie. I've never seen that movie.
You're not.
Actually.
It's fine.
Also Star Wars, so you know.
I'm still mad about the Star Wars thing.
I know.
Actually, you know what? It makes me uncomfortable because my first reaction is to be like, oh my god, it would be amazing to watch Stars with this person that has never seen it. And then I'm like, I don't want to be creepy about it. I'm like, hey, you want to spend the next 12 hours together? but yeah, tell me about this explosion. Like, so a smoke explosion?
Yeah, so I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so when there's fire.
So fire. Step one, fire.
Okay, for example, if this table started on fire, right?
Yeah.
The smoke is obviously going to go up.
Fill the room.
Yeah, so when it goes up, it's going to start rolling back on itself.
Right, because it doesn't have anywhere to go.
Right. So it's all this superheated gas.
Yeah.
And
Just
eventually...
the density of the smoke
Correct.
becomes, eventually it's got to go somewhere and blows out
Yes.
the wall.
So when it starts getting lower and lower, it's going to get thicker, darker,
Yeah.
and it's eventually going to get so hot that it all becomes fire,
Yeah.
and then it explodes. And that's like your... Yeah. That's
So
when
when the
there's
smoke
like
blows
the
up, then
survivability of that is 0.
0?
0.
Oh, if you're
It's-
in it, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. So if you can break up that reaction, like if you like the fire's here, but if
Yeah.
you see like fire rolling over your head and you come in this door, if you hit that, it's gonna break up that reaction.
If you hit what?
If you like shoot the water at the ceiling, because that's where the flames are going into that smoke, and
Yeah.
you want the smoke and the fire to not.
Doesn't
get it
getting
on.
the fire wet make more smoke?
Yeah, but it's a different kind of smoke. It's a.
Is it really? Like,
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's less
Yeah.
dense.
Right. It's not.
So hitting that, even that smoke cloud
like
with
that
the water.
that smoke is like superheated, and you're
Yeah.
gonna break up that.
Even hitting that.
And so when you like the
Oh,
smoke,
please, you go ahead.
the smoke from when you put the water on the fire, that's just steam.
Oh, that makes sense.
Smoke,
Yeah.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So hitting the water on even the smoke cloud dissipates
Yeah,
all that else. There's a lot of science to it, eh?
there's a lot of science. Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you guys ever have to deal with? I won't presume you'd have to, because I worked at a factory that was an explosion factory. So like we had a bunch of different kinds of things, extinguishers they're called, little
Yes,
squirters.
It's a new invention recently.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of extinguisher, but extinguisher put out fire, and there's a bunch of different ones. Like, because if you
Yes.
have to deal with a grease fire, you're not going to go in with a standard. Like, there's specific
Correct.
extinguishers for specific things.
Mm-hmm.
So you presume you have to stay up on all of that. Have you ever been called for like a grease fire?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like with that, you're not going to just run the hose.
Right.
Water is going to just spread it.
Right. Usually by the time we get there, if it is a grease fire, then it's like a whole big fire by
Right.
the time
That's
it
true.
starts out as a grease fire.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't really call the fire department in a tiny little grease fire.
Yeah.
By the time you get there, it's a raging
It's a
inferno.
huge kitchen fire. Yeah.
I still am just amazed that you do that for a living. Now, being an EMT, then on the flip side, do you enjoy doing that also?
Yeah.
Now you said that weird, like you were like,
It
not as much, but yes.
It gets to be a lot sometimes because that's like 90% of our calls are ambulance calls. So it can be like someone calls you at 2 a.m. because their knee hurts or they can't sleep because they have an earache.
Yeah.
Like it's cool when it's like a real like, I chopped my leg off with an axe.
That's
or then you're like, all right. Or if
Yeah.
it's like a really good psych call or like those are fun, but like going to the nursing home for like a vent patient that's been
Sure.
gargling on their own whatever for 4
Yeah.
hours and the nurse hasn't checked on them and it's just, then you're like, bleh.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when somebody calls with like an earache that wants to go to the hospital, are you ever like, hey, this costs so much money, don't call an ambulance, just go to the hospital?
Yeah. You get in trouble for saying stuff like that. though.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Because
Like, Katie, you can't say that to people.
But you're allowed to have an opinion. You're just not allowed
That's
to say
right.
it.
That's right. You're also, it's frowned upon to, not embellish, like someone is faking something, then you're going to give them like the whole, like really expensive ALS treatment for like $1,000 more bill
Ugh.
just to prove a point. And then that's unnecessary, but
Yeah.
makes you feel a little good about yourself. Like,
And I feel like,
take that bill that you'll never pay anyways, and I'll pay it with my tax money, so whatever.
do you think that's true?
What?
That you'll pay it with your tax
Oh,
money?
absolutely.
One way or the other?
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
So I apologize, everybody, for doing that.
Now we're seeing the truth. It's actually
Here we go.
the paramedics are doing it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yes. Out of spite.
Yeah. That makes sense, though. It's got to be annoying. My dad was like a hypochondriac type like that for a while until he died.
So he might have been onto something, though.
No, he was like a cockroach. It took him so long to die. I know that I said that weird, but it's the right way to say it.
I knew what you
promise.
meant. Yeah, yeah.
No, however you wanted to take it, that's how I meant it. But no, like he would just go to the hospital for the littlest nothing constantly. And I remember being like, of course you don't give a shit. You don't pay for the ambulance ride. Like, plus you keep going to this horrible sandwich hospital. That's awful.
Yeah. Valley West? Is that what
Valley
it's called?
West, everybody knows.
Yeah.
It's got a reputation. Ugh.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just can't. So you don't have a choice about being a paramedic. Like, you have to do that part with
Yep.
being a firefighter.
Yep.
Is that true in everywhere, or is that just like based on town?
Most of the towns, you have to be a paramedic, yeah.
Okay. And for some reason, you like the gross, gruesome stuff.
Well, it's exciting.
It's exciting?
I mean, it's...
You were stoked looking for that body in the river, weren't you?
Like, it was exciting. We didn't know at that time it was a dead body. It was just like, hey, maybe we're going to find this guy, like, in the weeds, like, help me. But
Did you really think that?
part of me thought there was hope.
Yeah. Ever the optimist. What does a search like that look like? Like, are you diving in the river? Or are you just like...
No,
combing
I mean,
the
they
river?
do have, like, dive teams.
Is that separate?
That's, yeah.
Is that like a whole separate industry?
No, so, like, within your fire departments, you have, like, specialty teams. Like,
Okay.
there's a dive team, swift water rescue,
Yeah.
hazmat, like, TRT, technical
Listen,
rescue.
I play a board game where you get to be a firefighter and you're trying to save the house from burning down. It's called Flashpoint, and it is so much fun.
Yeah.
You get to roll dice, and the fire moves. Sometimes there's explosions, and there's different jobs in that game.
See, there
So
you
I
go.
get it.
You totally are hired.
I'm always playing the police chief because I
The
don't
police
like to be,
chief. Even though you don't like the police?
My mistake. The fire chief.
Hold on. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. Because I don't like to be told what to do, and I like to give orders.
There it is.
Whoa, in the game, bro. Come on. So you're about to celebrate 11 years as a firefighter?
As a full-time firefighter, yeah.
Do you ever get mad that nobody calls you a fireman anymore?
Nah, they still do.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Do you care? Do you have an opinion about it?
No.
Who cares, right?
No. I love when I go to a call and people are disappointed to see like a girl. Oh, like my favorite. So when I'm driving the engine
Yeah.
and we're at a stoplight and there's like a car full of girls and they're all like, and then they turn and look and it's my ugly face and they're just like, ah, like I love that. It gives
Yeah.
me a special little smile in my heart. Like,
I do like that. I mean, it's pretty amazing that you do that in general. Because I can't think of any. I don't think I know anybody that's a female firefighter at all. There's an amazing show called Tacoma FD that you should watch. If you don't, it's about a firefighter team, and the fire chief's daughter is on the team, and it's so funny.
oh, is that that's like on Comedy Central maybe?
It's a comedy show.
Okay.
It's got some of the guys from Broken Lizard, so you don't know what that means?
No.
Have you ever seen the movie Super Troopers?
I've seen parts of it.
Bruh, what do
I'm
you,
sorry.
like, do you not watch things?
I don't. I'm busy.
Saving people's lives and actually doing things that matter.
Well, if I'm at home, I don't have a lot of time to like sit and watch something, so I'll like have the TV on like as my emotional support TV, and it'll have to be something that I know what it is,
Yeah.
so that I can
It's
like
comforting.
clean and
Yeah.
listen, but I don't have to like pay attention.
Right. That's
So if
what
it's
I do.
something I have to pay attention to, then I really have to like set aside time and
Yeah.
just
So
then I fall asleep.
we've just, I'm sure the second you sit down, your body's like, oh, thank goodness. So we've covered all of that, and that's a lot already. But like you just mentioned too, you just don't have a lot of time to sit and watch, because there's a whole other side of your life which eats up any free time that you have when you're not saving people's lives. I don't know what to call it. But it's you own a horse. Just one?
Just one. Yeah, that's all I can afford.
They're
Whew.
expensive.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of costs you don't realize
Uh-huh.
in horse ownership.
Yeah.
'Cause you can't just go buy a horse and then that's it.
Right. Yeah.
Like not even just having to feed it. Like it's got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta have It's gotta have its feet done. Vet. Oh my God. God forbid the thing gets sick.
Is that a thing that you can do yourself? Shoe a horse?
No.
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 Like,
There's like a whole science.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing to me because it always. This is like the same stuff that came up when I talked with Kate Player about dogs. Like so many things seem cruel from the outside looking in, because you don't know any better. But it just seems weird to nail metal into horses' feet.
Yeah. So it's like a fingernail, like the
Yeah.
long part of your
The,
fingernail.
hoo-
Like
the
you
hooves
could.
are fiber, like individual, almost like hair fibers.
Yeah.
They're just so dense.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any nerve endings in them.
Not when some of them. Well, some.
Some of them?
Some of them. It does like okay. So your fingernail, like you
Yeah.
could stab something through the long part of your
Oh,
fingernail,
right.
but then when you get to like the
Yeah.
base, then you're like, fuck, that hurts.
But even
that's
that's
how the
not
horse is.
the fingernail, it's the finger being attached to the nail.
Yeah. Well, their like foot is yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Kind of like, well, like cat fingernails too. Like, because I do think that removing cat claws is torture.
Oh yeah, that's because they cut their toes off.
Right. They
Yeah.
they don't understand that they go to the toe, not
Yeah.
just the sharp part,
Yeah.
which is cruel. So
Do you have cats?
I don't.
Oh.
But I love cats.
I have 5 cats.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
5 cats?
5 cats.
Tell me all of their names.
So there's Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Bengal. He's crazy.
Is he orange?
He's like a tiger striped.
Tigers are
So-
orange.
He's like a brown. He's not orange. I wouldn't call him orange.
Okay.
And then there's Koi. He's black and he's really fat. And then there's Fat Baby.
Fat baby?
Her name is misleading because she's not fat.
Yeah.
And then there's Forrest after Gump because he's special. And then his sister Hilly.
Hilly.
Hilly. Have you seen The Help?
No.
Okay, well then never mind.
The one movie. you've seen.
the one movie I've seen.
Yeah. 5 cats.
Yep.
Do you don't have any dogs though?
I have the 2 dogs.
You have 2 dogs also?
So my work dog Fable.
Oh right, we already. Okay, we covered.
Yeah, forgot about her already. And then I have another
Yeah.
German Shepherd Ocho.
8.
Mhm.
Named after Chris Jericho, because he's held the belt 8 times. Okay, good. That's a wrestling reference. It's fine.
Yep.
The whole audience just
Never heard of her.
It's a person. It's a man. Chris Jericho. Christopher. Anyway,
Yes.
is it even worse than for the working dog to live with a pet?
No.
You're saying that because
No.
you're doing it?
No. I mean, she was a pet, so that's just her life. I'm sure if
I'm just saying, could you imagine like being a leisure dog and then their dog's like, fuck, I gotta go to work.
that's kind of how it is.
Oh man, I bet she hates you.
Or she just really loves it.
Loves her job?
Yeah, she does love her job.
I'm sure she loves her
does.
job.
Yeah.
But it's still like when you're sitting at home and you get random text. Yeah, maybe she does it. Maybe she's like, oh, finally, my life can have meaning.
Yeah.
This sitting around is so
So
boring.
when she's at home, she's like always doing something. Like if I don't
Yeah.
give her something to do, she's gonna find something to do, and it's not gonna be something that.
You think the rest of the animals are like, will you just sit down for
Yes.
5 minutes?
I think they all are like that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Originally, we were talking about your love of horses.
Yes.
Does just owning a horse? You said before we got on, you said that you teach horse riding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you show the horse still, or did you used to?
I did. My horse has a neurological thing going on right now, so I haven't shown her in a few years, but hopefully.
What does that mean? A
So
neurological
she has. It's called EPM. It's like a protozoa that attacks the brain and spinal cord. So
Oh, no.
her back end is kind of weak and doesn't
Yeah.
communicate with the rest of her body. So
Is this common? Like, should you be okay?
It's it is common, but it's not common. So they don't really know. Like, there's no medicine that'll
like a quick fix.
Right.
So it's kind of like trying this and that and kind of a trial and error type thing. But
Yeah.
she has good days and bad days. It's actually contracted through like possum shit. Like possums get in your hay barn and then poo on the hay and then the horses eat it, and or it can get in the water. And
Do you think they do that on purpose?
no, because possums are pretty cool.
They're so adorable.
I know,
They have like little fingers and everything.
right?
I don't. They're so mad all the time, but they're so cute.
I followed this possum on Instagram. His name was Arthur, and he just they only live for like 3 years. Like
Oh, really?
3 or 4. Yeah, I didn't know that
I
until
didn't know
I saw that Arthur died,
Oh,
and
that sucks.
I was like, oh no, something happened to him. And the lady's like, no, they only have a really short lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think they do it on purpose. And so like, I read that 80% of horses have like carry EPM, and less than 4% ever show symptoms. So
Oh.
we're lucky.
See, there's that probability.
Yeah.
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 That's crazy, though. How long have you had the horse?
She is 18, and I got her when she was 3.
Oh my gosh.
So a while, 15 years, yeah.
15 years?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah.
There's got to be a certain amazing, like, because I'm sure you can ride leisurely also.
Mhm.
There's got to be an amazing feeling of just kind of being out riding.
Yeah.
I don't know if, like, I know there's trails around here, like, the big around here. But is there anywhere to go to, like, really ride a horse, like, almost like old school, like, wild, and really open it up? Or would you not even do that because it's a show horse?
So at Donata, they have like a training racetrack,
Mhm.
and my horse is an off-track thoroughbred, so she was.
Oh,
They started to train her to race,
yeah.
so
She's fast.
she's fast, but
Yeah.
she's not fast enough to be a racehorse, obviously, because she flunked out of that. But I like to take her up there and just let her go, and it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is awesome.
so cool. Or we go to Hoover in Yorkville,
Hmm.
and there's like one spot in the woods, a trail. It's kind of like an elevated trail, and it's like the trees are. It's just really pretty, and you can just gallop on that. And it's cool.
That is cool. Do you ride with, like, do you have, like, friends that do the same thing, or
Mhm.
ride in groups, or
Yeah.
you just do it just alone?
Yeah, both.
All of it? I've never ridden a horse. And I don't know that I would.
It's not for everybody.
I would love to, because I love animals despite, like, not wanting certain ones in my space. Like, dogs annoy me. I love dogs, but they annoy me.
They're a lot. Yeah.
They are a lot. But cats, I love cats because they don't, they could care less. I'm used to that. Like,
Right.
somebody that doesn't want me around or care if I exist, that I can
Yes.
handle. But a horse, I would be, I think that they're amazing. Also because they're so heavy and they have these little stick legs.
Yeah.
And it makes me worry every time,
Yep.
like, when you see them stop fast or pivot real quick. And I'm like, you're going to break your legs.
Or fall,
Don't.
like run and fall, like they. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever do any training of the horses, like, as far as different kinds of? Because I gotta think that part of the showing is comparing it to, like, a medieval times where, like, they strut them a certain way or they ride them a certain way. Like, do you do any of that fancy stuff?
So I do 3-day eventing, and it's dressage, cross country jumping, and stadium jumping. So the dressage is like the fancy stuff, like who did that? Like Snoop Dogg. Do you remember when Snoop did like the commentary on the horse that was doing
yeah.
the crip walk or whatever? So that's dressage.
Yeah.
That's part of what I do. Yeah.
That's awesome. So those are the kind of things that always initially irk me, because it just seems like you're teaching it to do something that's completely useless, and you're just whipping it in the face to get it to do it, and I can't stand that. But that's my initial reaction, not necessarily the reality of the situation.
But if you ever see, so like if you turn a horse loose,
Mm-hmm.
they will do all that like stuff on their
Really?
own. Yeah.
I wonder if that's how that initially we saw that it was a possibility. As people are like,
Could
look
be,
at this
yeah.
weirdo, he's doing this funny
They'll do like
thing."
this big fancy trot or like
Yeah.
they'll do all of that and they'll rear up, they'll spin, yeah.
Well, they cross their legs and bow. That's why I'm like, don't do that.
Okay, maybe the bowing is, but I mean I've seen that. Like, have you ever seen a horse eating grass under a fence? They're like
They'll
bowed
get-
down, yeah.
They'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's also one of my favorite things is the misconception of if a horse is laying down that it's dead,
Oh yeah.
because for some reason people think that horses sleep standing up.
They do.
They can, but
They
they can
do
also
a
lay
lot
down.
of the time. They
Yeah,
can
but-
lay down.
Yeah.
So I think that misconception comes from when they colic and they're laying down. You don't want like a sick horse to lay down because that's when they twist their gut.
Well, is it bad for them to lay down?
In that situation,
In
yeah.
that particular
Yeah.
situation?
Mm-hmm.
You call it colic?
Colic, yeah.
Like a baby?
Yeah. Only different. So they can't like burp anything up.
Yeah.
Like it just all goes out the back. So if they get super gassy, they'll
Mm-hmm.
get a stomach ache and they'll lay down and then they'll roll and then they'll twist their stomach when they roll because they're so big and it just,
Yeah.
and then that's bad news.
That sounds awful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you get more horses?
Would I get more horses?
Yeah.
Probably.
Like if money wasn't a thing, like at all?
Oh, absolutely. If money wasn't a thing, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think is a good amount of horses to have?
Well, maybe 3 or 4.
Or 5?
Yeah, I mean, why stop there? Because, like, if you take one out to... You can't have 2. When you take one out to ride, then the other one's going to be lonely. Then you want to have, like, a husband horse in case you have, like, a friend or a husband that wants to ride a horse and it's going to be, like, bomb-proof. Like, anyone could get on that horse.
Yeah.
Then you want to have, like, your fancy show horse.
Have you ever... They call it breaking. Have you ever broken a horse?
Mm-hmm.
Like a wild horse?
Not a wild horse, but, like, baby young horses.
But that's just the bonding process in general, right?
Yeah, like starting them on her saddle. Yeah.
Because like breaking a horse would be like a wild horse that doesn't want any part of this.
Right, yeah.
You ever think of leaving Illinois?
Yeah, but my parents are here, so I'll never leave them.
You sounded pretty upset about that. We've covered how much they've held you back your whole life.
I mean, if I could afford to take them with, then let's go. But
Yeah, in this scenario, money is not an object. Where would you go?
ooh,
I feel like, don't you have I've decided for you, you want to be somewhere with like open land though, like so you could have the horses.
yeah,
And
like Kentucky.
do you think you get more animals also, like chickens maybe, and like other things too, or do you think you stick with just horses and domesticated?
So
animals?
money's not an issue, right?
Money's not an issue.
Then I would have all the things, and I would have like hired people that would take care of them.
I guess that, yeah.
This is like a lot of work.
It is a lot. Well, that's what I think about even just horse ownership. There's so much that goes into it that you're not doing because you're not there, that you're paying somebody to do.
Right.
Makes it even more expensive.
Right.
You know, because the cost is being pushed to you for food and the shoeing and
The labor services.
and
Yeah.
all, then somebody having to actually do all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then also taking up a stall in a building.
Right.
You know, how much does that run a month, roughly?
Like $750 baseline, and that's
Yeah.
pretty cheap.
That is, I would say that sounds pretty reasonable. But then when you put that on top of a car payment and a mortgage payment and just normal bills, like, you know, that's,
Yep.
it goes up fast.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Further proof you make too much money.
Well, that's why I work at the barn to subtract off of my board.
Do you work at the barn?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's where I
is
teach
that
the
where?
lessons.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
where. I guess in my head I thought you were just kind of doing it independently. That makes more sense than you doing it through.
Yeah.
So they bring you clients then, or do you still have to find your own people?
It's people within. Like I've had them for several years, so and I'm at my max
So
capacity.
this isn't
of,
just I'm going to teach you how to ride and then you've got it.
Yeah, no, it's like a never-ending.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
How come?
It's just they're live animals, and there's always something different. And
Well, but
you
like,
always wanna
but you're
do
not.
something.
Are you taking lessons?
I go to clinics and stuff. Well, when my horse was okay,
Yeah.
I'd go to clinics and stuff. But
Just to stay up
I
on
would,
stuff.
yeah, and I'll take jumping lessons. Like I'll go to a different barn and take lessons, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's got to be exciting to do a jump.
oh, it's the best.
Like, this is a wildly insane comparison, but I'm comparing horse riding to snowboarding. Only for the sense of the freedom of riding and being like just that. I can't describe it any better than just that freedom of being out and just doing something. Like coming down a mountain is incredible. I say mountain, I've only ever done like the little thing at Four Lakes. But like it's incredible to do that.
It's
And I
that
feel like it's
freedom.
the same like freedom being on a horse and just like running in the wilderness. Like it's got to have such a feeling of oneness too with like your surroundings. I do want to ride a horse, but I would be terrified because I wouldn't want to hurt a horse. And I feel like I'm way too heavy to be on a horse. Because I also have a scooter. And I currently can't ride my scooter until I get my life together. And I wouldn't want to hurt a horse. I feel like if I tried to get on, he'd be like, oh. And that would make me sad.
Yeah, that would.
Because they definitely do that. And
They're
most people that ride horses are tiny.
not everybody. No,
Is that true?
that is true.
Oh, give me a little hope.
There's always hope.
Is there?
Always.
I feel like we're pretty cynical. Although I did say earlier, I'm done being cynical.
Yeah, gotta have hope.
Yeah. What's your hope for the future? It's okay to not have any. And by that I don't mean like not having hope, I just mean like haven't thought that far, I'm living day to day.
Yeah, I'm kind of a day-to-day person.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's great.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do this until you retire firefighting?
Do you think I'll do firefighting until I retire from firefighting?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like, until you're old enough to retire?
Well, yeah, what
Like,
else
you-
am I gonna do?
I don't know. Do you have, like, do you think you'll ever want to work up to be chief? Or...
Oh, God, no.
Really?
Mm-mm. I don't want to be an officer. Right now I'm senior blue shirt on my shift, and that is
Senior blue shirt?
senior blue shirt.
That sounds cool.
It's pretty cool.
Is there a red shirt?
No. There's just blue shirts and white shirts. White
Probably
shirts
because
are
red
officers.
shirts,
We do have Red Shirt Friday. So.
they get killed every time. That's from Star Trek. Which, if you haven't seen Star Wars, you definitely haven't seen Star Trek.
Nope.
There's a whole. Anytime they go on I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. Every time they go on an away mission, anybody in a red shirt murdered immediately. So just so you know.
Well, I should re-guess Red Shirt Friday. It's for the troops. Like, support your troops. Red Shirt Friday.
Oh right, I figured since you're a firefighter, you support the police. Since you support the police, you support the troops.
I love the police.
It's a whole.
Literally.
It's a whole presumption. Literally.
Literally.
Uh-oh. You
Yeah,
said,
but I don't want to
like
be an
your
officer.
sex.
I don't want the responsibility. I don't think I'd be good at it. I'm not a good leader.
Really?
Yeah. Like, who's gonna follow this? Come on.
I mean, you gotta have grunts. I gotta think when you're out there in the field, though, you have to take a lot of liberties and make a lot of split decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's all being in charge is.
But, like, being the senior blue shirt,
Mm-hmm.
like, I still have all the people that I can yell at underneath me.
So you like being in the middle,
I like being the top of the lowers.
top of the
The top of the lowers.
top of the lower.
Yeah.
That's what,
I'm the head lower.
When people are like, "How successful is Katie Bokia?" I can be like, "She is the top of the lowers."
Top of the lowers. Sounds kind of fancy if you say it, like, in a fancy accent, maybe.
Like an Irish
Like,
accent.
top of the morning, top of the
Top
lowers.
of the lowers. That's stupid.
So stupid.
But I don't disagree. It does have a certain.
Whatever. If you're gonna say it later, fancy like, and you'll
That's
be like,
probably
Katie, she was really onto something.
I'm gonna smile and be like, that lady.
Dumb. Oh goodness.
Yeah. I think we've covered everything in your life. Yeah, I mean, at least professionally.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick apart your personal life?
Do I have a personal life?
Oh, good question. Do you have a personal life?
I'm sure everyone does, right?
No?
Oh.
I guess it depends on what you consider a personal
Yeah,
life.
what's personal life?
Yeah, do you have hobbies outside of, like,
Horseback riding.
outside of those, that?
Gardening. I like flowers. I don't like vegetable gardening. I like flower gardening. Like
I
have
love
this
flowers.
really nice butterfly garden.
Really?
Oh, yes. The bunnies keep eating everything, and I want to kill them all, but I love them. So
That's their job.
I know.
It's really your fault.
It is. I'm
For putting delicious
supporting their
flowers in.
habit. Yeah.
You're enabling them.
Like, here's some cocaine.
What kind of flowers do you have?
I have all kinds of flowers in my butterfly garden.
What's your favorite flower?
My favorite, dahlias.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
My favorite flower is the bird of paradise.
Okay.
Like, by far, it's such a cool looking thing.
Very native.
But yeah, definitely don't grow here.
Uh-huh.
But they're so cool looking and pretty. I took horticulture in high school.
So did I.
Yeah?
What was Mrs. Becker? Was that her name?
Did you have Miss Becker?
I did.
Because I'll say she was there for the first 2 years. Then Miss McCarthy took over. But Miss Becker was amazing.
Yeah.
I took floral design. Like anything
I took
could-
floral design.
We're probably the same class.
Probably.
Anything I could get my hands on.
Do you
was
remember
Miss
Catherine
Becker.
Flowers?
Catherine Flowers.
She was in my floral design class, and I thought she was so cool because her last name was Flowers, and she was in floral
That is
design.
awesome. You'd remember if we were in the same class because I feel like we were the only class with a lot of boys in it. It's like 'cause me, Tony Keys, like a bunch of my friends were in there.
Tony Keys. I think I follow him on Facebook.
Oh yeah. How exciting!
Sorry.
That's
I don't really go
all right.
on Facebook a lot, so maybe I don't. I
Yeah.
made that up.
Do you not go on Facebook a lot?
Not really.
It's kind of a bit of a cesspool. But then, how do people know about your fake life?
They don't.
Oh right, that's true. I don't know what else you want to talk about. You covered that you're not good at dating. You don't have any free time.
It's not that I'm not good at dating.
Oh, you're right. That was a horrible thing to say because I'll bet you're actually amazing at dating, but
it
hasn't worked out so far.
I think I'm difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
In what sense?
Well, because how am I difficult? I just have expectations,
Yeah.
and like I set the bar pretty high,
Sure.
and then not a lot of people can
Yeah.
meet the high bar. And
What's
then,
at the high bar, for instance?
like have your own I don't want to support somebody like that.
Sure.
Sounds really shitty.
Doesn't
but,
sound shitty. That sounds reasonable.
like have your own job, your own life, you're not going to use my car, you're not going to
Yeah.
squat in my house, I'm
Sure.
not going to be your mom,
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But I think
And
those are reasonable. Those are not high bar. That's all, to me, that's all common sense.
well, yeah, but
that,
nowadays
I'm sure it's what
it's
you've built, or what you've
the-
dealt with in the past.
Right.
Which is unfortunate that we deal with these unhealthy relationships and then we're like, I just want the bare goddamn minimum.
I do want the bare minimum. I do.
Yeah. And then eventually that bare minimum you feel like is such a tall order. You're like, this is
Yeah.
impossible.
Yes,
But, yeah,
exactly.
I think that's all reasonable. I'd be curious in your particular life because you don't have a lot of time.
I could make time. Like
Right,
I
yeah.
do a lot of busy work to keep
Right.
myself busy. That's
Yeah,
why it's called busy work.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Well, I think too, like, but you've also got a career and hobbies that, realistically, somebody plugging into your life, would probably start at number 3. But I feel like you're the kind of person that can make number 3 feel like number 1. with the right person, like in the right situation.
Yes.
Because yourself has to come first, your job has to come first. Like all those things need to stay like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that somebody wouldn't be appreciated or valued. It just means that, like, again, reality is reality. Back to the theme.
I think a lot of people, like I was on a dating app, and when I would say like what my job is, I would lose, like people would just stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
they don't know.
stereotypically male job.
Right.
And a lot of men are, this is a phrase that everybody should start using. A lot of men are baby ass dudes. Like their ego cannot stand the small, like it's the same kind of guy like that can't date a girl that's taller than him. Like, do you really care about it that much, dude?
Right.
Like,
Right.
who cares, man? Like, but a lot of people want to feel like they're on a higher level, whatever they've decided that level is.
Right.
That they're looking down from. Like, I don't get stuff like that. Because, like, I think about it and I'm like, I think it'd be tough to date somebody like you because I'd be terrified every day. But I feel like you're terrified. Not terrified, but, like, there's danger there every day.
Right.
But it also couples with this uncomfortable, intense pride where you're like, God damn, but she's out there doing it. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Right.
This
right.
bitch is out there, like, handling it. And
Yeah.
she's laughing the whole time like a crazy person.
Yes.
I think that's motivating, though. Like, that's exciting. I'm so glad that those guys stopped talking to you. Could you imagine? Terrible.
Terrible.
But you're open to dating.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm surprised that you haven't coupled with a firefighter.
Ugh, they're the worst.
Are they the worst?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things, too, like... but in a lot of those type of industries, it's easy to fall into that because it's somebody that gets it already, right?
Right. Well, that's like why like police and like that's why I love police officers because they understand. Like you need someone that's gonna understand the business. And
I'd be so sad if you end up with a cop.
Why? I love them.
I know, it's weird. If we could cure you of that, that would be good.
They're not all bad.
That's true. They're not all bad. My friend, I don't know if you remember Tony Bertolotti.
Yeah.
He's a cop in Montgomery.
Yes.
And he used to always mess with me all the time. He would make me so mad. Because I'd be like, I am not an adult. Like, I feel like, especially with cops involved, I feel like a child. I don't trust them. And I feel like I'm doing something wrong every single time.
I feel the same way.
And he would always pull up on me. And I'd be like, God damn it, what did I do? Do I have all of my legal stuff? Like, what's happening? And then I see him and be like, God damn it. You son of a bee, get out of here.
I still, like, if a cop pulls behind me, I'm like, oh my God. Like, sweating. Like, yeah. I don't know why.
And you want one of those in your life.
I don't know.
None of us know.
I mean, any person at this point.
Are you currently doing the apps?
No.
No?
No.
Too gross?
I gave up on that. There's just, like, a lot of weirdos out there.
I feel like as a female, there's a lot of collateral damage. Like you might get random one-offs here and there that are okay for a little bit, but there's a lot of also, like, unfortunate stuff that comes through as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... Yeah, there's just weird people. There's liars. There's... I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe you'll meet somebody at a fire. Maybe you'll save them.
Maybe.
Yeah. That'd be weird.
It'd have to be, like, a good fire, not like a...
Have to be a good
Some
fire.
of the people you pull out of a fire, like, how did you get in this situation?
Really?
Well, at least in Hillside.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Maybe I could pull up on a fire, like, driving down the street in
Yeah.
some rich neighborhood.
I also like the idea,
And-
though, of, like, do you think you have it in you to be the lady who runs into a burning building, backpacks
And pulls
a
out the
gentleman,
man of my dreams.
and pulls out a man, and he has to carry him to safety, and then
Yeah,
be like,
I might lie and be like, met him at a bar.
really?
Because I wouldn't want to say that.
Man.
Like, why can't someone save me? Not that I would be in a situation to need to be saved, but Like, I feel like everyone's kind of looking for a girl. Like, every girl is like,
It's not different for men.
you want to be saved?
In a sense. I mean, it depends on how you define what saved means.
Right.
I want somebody to like me.
That's what I want.
Yeah. As far as because realistically, what that looks like and feels like is going to evolve as a relationship evolves, and as people evolve, and as a couple evolve. Because all those things are happening, and you hope that you do that together, but that's not necessarily the case. Like,
Right.
you know, we evolve as individuals, we evolve as a couple, and everything's going to grow in hopefully the direction we want it to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that sense, I don't feel like I have a very high bar at all. Like you were saying, like the bare minimum.
Right.
I just
yeah.
want somebody that I can talk to. I want somebody. I love people that are passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hate the police. I can listen to you talk about the police all day because I can see that you genuinely get excited about them for some weird reason.
Well,
But it's
there's
that
good
simple.
reason.
This is the third time you've alluded to something. Are you having sex with the police?
Yes, all of them.
Every single one?
Every last one of them.
Somebody's got to.
Right?
Wait,
You know,
wait,
it's not an easy job. But
Way to do your due diligence. But I'm also passionate about stuff that, and like, I want somebody that'll listen to me. I don't necessarily want somebody that's into what I'm into. I want somebody that'll listen to what I'm into
yes.
and get excited about it. And I want to learn about all their stuff and get excited about it also.
Right.
And again, it seems so simple, but it's really, really not for some
Right.
reason.
Right.
I also have a lot of weird stuff too. Like do you have any kind of trauma around dating?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Tell me about it. I didn't mean to make it worse.
And there it is.
But like, because realistically, we haven't had a quote-unquote successful relationship so far. And even that, I hesitate to say it that way, because one of the things I've talked about a few times on the show is this idea, as human beings, we presume everything to last forever. And if it doesn't, for some reason, we call it a failure.
Right.
Like, you could have a business for 10 years, and then it goes under, and it's somehow a failure. Like, well, you had a business for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a relationship for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, then it ended and it's over. Like, well, you had a successful relationship for 5 years.
Right.
Hopefully it was a successful relationship. But like I said, everybody evolves and everybody changes. So
Exactly.
our perception is really fascinating in all of these different kinds of things. So that's one of the things I always wonder about. Like, do you know what your love language is?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, I guess.
You guess. It sounds like no.
Not really.
You sound like the kind of person, like somebody's like, hey, have you ever had an orgasm? And you're like, I think so.
I think I might have.
That's a no.
That one time. No, like, do you mean like like physical acts of service, like
the
that kind of
actual
love language? That.
That's what they are, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I dabble in all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You're allowed to.
but probably like acts of service.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's an interesting one to me because that's kind of what you do.
Yeah, I do unto others what I want done to me.
Yeah, which I get realistically makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like mine is words of
Affirmation.
yeah, like because I'm constantly.
I like that too.
I'm probably to the annoying point where I'm like, do you even like me? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I do that. Do you love me?
So I would need somebody to get ahead of that and be like, "You're fine, shut up." Like,
Right, yeah.
"All right, cool."
But don't say shut up because then I'll be like, oh no, you don't love me.
You wouldn't tell somebody you love to shut up. But presumably in our past, then there's written in these other relationships that are over is those potential trauma things. Like, I know that I've had relationships that just did not. I've never had a blow up or a bad relationship. I'm still friends with all of my exes, even. But when that doesn't mean that the relationship was quote unquote healthy.
Right.
Just means that we understand that it wasn't working for whatever reason.
Right.
And we also understand that it had nothing to do with who we were as people, it's who we were as a couple.
Yes.
Which is huge. And a lot of people can't do that. It goes back to your baby ass dudes that can't even handle that you're a firefighter, let alone
Right.
them to have the lack of ego to be like, hey, we're just not working as a couple.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Are you friends with any of your exes?
All of them except the most recent one.
Yeah. It's weird when like you can't stay friends, right?
Yeah.
You know, like
I feel like with most of them, like there was like a little like bumper period of like, and then now everyone's cool.
yeah.
But
I think that's probably
like a little saltiness,
realistic.
and then you get over that
yeah.
type thing.
Yeah. Do you remember anything particularly though that like has carried over and like, oh, I gotta watch for this next? Because I feel very guarded.
Married men.
Married men?
Married men.
Married men?
Married men.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well, every guy that I've dated except the last guy was married when I met them.
Did they get divorced?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Oof. Yeah. So I have opinions about that because I once dated a married lady, and it's tough because it feels, in retrospect, it feels like it has an expiration date built in. Like, while you're going through it, you're like, I'm going to be the 1% that this works out for. And then when it's over, you're like, that was never going to work out.
Yeah, saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also sucks because you start realizing these things that you kind of push off while you're in it. As far as like, well, if they did this to their wife, what are they gonna do to me? It's just a matter of time till the next thing shows up.
Right. Right.
And that's hard to reconcile.
When they get bored of me, then
Right.
they'll just move on to the next.
Exactly. Like, in that actually really, really messed me up because, I dated a girl that she was married when we started dating, and then she became less married later, and he was not happy about it because we started a relationship before. Because I'm like, this is on you. I don't care.
Right. Right.
But he was mad, and he would call me and want to beat me up, and he was pissed all the time. I remember I took the fight out of him once on accident when he had called me. I was like, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you beat me up and then I get your wife? Like, is that the thing?
So, yeah.
And he didn't have an
Sorry.
answer. He's like, he didn't know what to say.
Like shit.
And he's like, well, we should get together and like have a beer. And I'm like, look, man, like, the situation is what the situation is, and that sucks. But you and I don't have anything to say to each other.
Right. Right. Ugh. Yeah.
So, but what I noticed afterwards is that, because we dated for a few years, we even lived together, and when she, because I thought we were working towards something, and she's like, I would never get married again, this is ridiculous, and then at the end, literally the week that her divorce was final, because it took years, we broke up. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
Ooh, that burns
Yeah.
a little.
Yeah, it's done some emotional damage that it's one of those things that you don't really, like, I've done a lot of internal work to move forward in life in general, but you don't know where you're at until you're in the situation again, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So I feel fine, but like, let's see where that manifests.
Right.
And then also, like, a couple months later, she ended up engaged and got married a couple of times since then, so whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, that fucks you up.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like, do you feel like you have stuff like that you're carrying and don't realize you're carrying?
Mm-hmm.
Will you tell me a story now?
Tell you a story.
You don't have to.
I don't. So it's always something that you say, I'll never do that again, and
Yeah.
then you find yourself doing the exact same thing, which then makes me think, am I the person that likes to, I don't know how to explain it, like, do I have, like, commitment issues where I like that I don't have the responsibility of that person, like, I
Yeah.
know they're gonna go home,
I think that's a real
and
thing.
I still...
Yeah. I've definitely been in parts of my life where I've pursued people I know it wasn't going to work out with, just because, like, it's something to do.
Yeah.
And I know it was never going to work out for real, so I could pretend that it was like, oh, she just doesn't like me.
Right, right.
Which is
Or like you, I don't know, like it's something you are just friends with this person, and then all of a sudden it turns into something else, but they're still married, and I don't know. Like, so you think you could be friends with this person because they're so cool, and then you're like, oh my god, this is my person.
right.
But they belong to someone else.
Well, it's tough too when you hang out with somebody and then you come to a point of like you've been friends and then you're like, this friendship is going so well, maybe we should touch parts,
Yeah,
which can really change the dynamic.
it does.
I think it's a great idea to touch parts in general. Let me go on the record and say that.
Right.
If you want to touch parts and it's consenting, you should do that 100%. But it can change a lot,
Uh-huh.
and it's another thing where you don't know until it's done.
Right.
For me, I'm an an over communicator because I want to understand where somebody's at, and I want them to understand where I'm at.
Right.
Just because I think honesty is genuinely the best policy, and you can't get anything misconstrued, and you can't because like we were just mentioning earlier, like where we're in our own heads, like even something as simple as like, oh, they said shut up to me, they must not like me.
Right. Yeah. Then I'm gonna obsess about that for
Exactly.
3 days.
So if I can diffuse all of that by being like, let me just be upfront in the first place.
Yes.
Like, and also if I say something and you're feeling some way, please ask about it.
Say something. Yeah.
Because I'm how it's coming out and how I think it sounds can be different than how you're taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to just blurt things out and then be like, all right, let's wade through that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Let's go back
But-
and recon a little bit.
I feel like it'd be great if you would stop sleeping with married men. I think it'd be great for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's the
That's what my
takeaway
mom
today.
says.
Why do you suppose you do that? Like, because like I said, I've had a part in my life where I would go after people that I knew it wouldn't work out with. Because I feel like there's a couple of options, right? If we pull that thread of why are you going with one, it's you're not supposed to, and that's exciting,
That's not my thing though.
right?
Yeah.
Two, you generally feel a connection and you want somebody to pick you.
Yeah.
And that's not a dig at their wife
Right.
or girlfriend. It's just you want somebody to pick you.
Right.
And if you can be picked over somebody else, it feels even more official. Like, oh man, they chose me, and they already had somebody else.
I don't like that either.
Guess what?
What's option 3?
the farther we go, the worse. The
Okay.
trigger
Okay.
becomes.
Lay it on me. Let's hear it.
You are actually the tornado of chaos.
Just suck them in.
Yeah. Because there's also the idea too, though, stereotype that a man that's already in a relationship, the work's already done. The quote unquote work's already done.
That is very true.
Yeah, and you as somebody that doesn't necessarily have the time to
I don't
put
have
in the
time to
work
train
and
anybody.
already has a bar that's this high,
Yeah.
you'd rather just steal somebody else's hard work.
Steal.
Yeah. They're literally in a
It's-
committed relationship.
Commandeer is a better word. Not
Wait.
commandeer that shit.
God, you are a police officer secretly. That's the same thing. You can put whatever fancy word you want on it. It's the same thing.
Hey, listen, when you're atop of the lowest, then you learn some things.
Yeah, when a cop commandeers a vehicle, he's stealing it. Just so we're clear. That's 100% theft.
No. No.
I think you're going to be good, though, actually. I think you're going to be real good.
You think what could be good?
I think you're going to be good.
I'm gonna be good?
Yeah.
At what?
In life. I think you're going to have a...
Well, shit, I hope so. It's almost over.
Is it?
I don't know.
What are you, 41? You turned 42 yet?
I'm 42.
Feels gross, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like what is the average lifespan of 78? So 36, your life is already half over. So our lives are already half over. What have we done? I can't even find a
Like,
man.
listen, you and I particularly is probably a bad test subject for that first sentence. But I feel like other people our age have done stuff probably.
Oh, well, absolutely, probably.
We're just, I don't know what our problem is.
We just can't get our shit together.
I feel like you're doing pretty good. I don't know. Why are you so hard on yourself?
Well, yeah, in some aspects, but like, oh, look at this, to
Yeah.
not look at this.
Yeah, I guess when you kind of lay it all on the table, like in this capacity, it just kind of expands.
Like, I
upon
have
what's
to
missing.
make that part of my life look pretty cool
Yeah.
to make up for the lonely darkness of
Yeah, yeah.
being alone.
But I think that that's one of the points of the show is to kind of point out or to highlight those things and how they're kind of in everybody. Because at the end of the day, you are incredible and an inspiration and a role model and doing amazing things, and that's all 100% fact. Like, you've busted your ass, and those are like, I'm not saying that to be complimentary because I could care less. But that's
Well,
true.
thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Like, you've really worked towards that, and you're maintaining it beautifully. It's fantastic. But then on the flip side, in building that life, these other things are also missing, and you can feel that also. And I think that that's
Right.
important.
Right.
It's important to understand where we're all coming from. Like, how hard is it to keep your nails painted?
Not. Look at them.
Well, 3 of them are missing. 4 of them are missing.
I mean, I was just like, so I pick it off.
Oh, okay. That's not from work. That's from.
And I
your-
only did that because I was trying to impress somebody.
You painted them or picked them off
Painted
to
them.
impress somebody.
Just painted them. It lasted for a whole 24 hours, and then they saw them, and I was like, okay. Anyways, yeah.
How does that impress somebody?
It doesn't.
Yeah. Also, if you're gonna impress me, you gotta get a French manicure.
Okay, well, see, I was going about it all wrong.
Yeah, you'll get it. I'm gonna teach you how to be a girl.
Thank you.
You teach me how to be a man, probably.
Number 1, never say French manicure again.
I really outed myself there.
Do
didn't
people like that?
I personally, I do. I don't know if people do. I just think it's.
Like on fake nails? Because I don't like fake
yeah.
nails. Like,
I'm not a big fan of fake nails either.
yeah.
I do like that fake nails these days have become more pointed.
Yeah,
like
they're
knives.
like scary looking.
They are scary looking.
And you could like bedazzle them.
Yeah, that's too much for me. But
Yeah.
I think like I've always got way too long of nails for a man to have. People are definitely like, "Oh, you don't work with your hands, do you?"
Oh, do you have a coke problem?
Not yet.
That's the first thing I think of.
Really?
Yeah.
If I had a long pinky nail, sure, but
I mean, you could do it with any.
I
I
don't-
mean, if you're gonna use your middle finger, you get more.
you know what? You're smart. You're good at drugs. I don't do any drugs though, or alcohols. Unless you have mushrooms, I'll do mushrooms. But that's different. Have you ever done mushrooms?
So last week, I
Go on.
had some mushrooms,
Yes.
but I don't think I did them right.
You just eat them. There's no secret.
Then I don't know.
Depends on how much you had.
It wasn't a lot because I was scared.
Really?
Yeah,
Was your first time?
yeah.
Were you with people? Or just on your own?
No, I was with the cops.
That's fantastic. See, the problem is you're hanging out with the right cops, and everything I see is terrible.
Yeah, like they get all the good drugs.
I can believe that. But yeah, if you didn't notice anything, 'cause the first time I did them, I took too much, to where I got a real good hallucinogens and stuff like that, and a lot of imagery and stuff. And then a couple times after that, I've done less and less, where it's just a nice body buzz and like everything just feels perfect.
Yeah, so that was how they explained it to me. Like everything is like just gonna like go quiet and just be like, but I didn't. Maybe I was too nervous. Maybe I ruined it for myself.
Well, so my sister, her first time, my sister is, it sounds funny, but she doesn't know how to relax. She's never relaxed in her life. So she lives in a constant state of,
Panic and anxiety.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So when she did them her first time, and she's like, something's wrong. And I'm like, it's your body's relaxing for the first time.
Yeah.
But it can be dangerous too, because like you take some and then you're like, you wait a half hour and you're like, I'm feeling different, and then you take some more, and then the other ones kick in, and you just took a bunch more. And
Yeah.
You're like, oh boy, now I'm in this.
You're right.
'Cause
That's
that's
scary.
actually, it's my favorite. I don't like it, but it's my favorite thing about doing drugs is the anxiety of when you eat them until they kick in, and you're like, oh shit, I'm in this now.
Yeah, there's no going back.
No, you
No
cannot
going
go back.
back.
Like the only way through it is through it.
Yeah.
And I think that there's even something poetic about that, of just having to like push forward. It's the
Right.
only direction you
Yeah.
can go.
You have to survive.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I think I would like to, to enjoy it because I was so like, whoa.
Yeah. Do you drink?
Yeah. Not, I mean, like, socially.
Yeah. Do you smoke pots?
I can't with work. I would
Is
love
that
to.
true?
So if I'm off for a few days, for a
Yeah.
few shifts, I will. But
Mhm.
I just get so worried that if I like crash a vehicle and I have to
Right.
take a random drug test that they're
Yeah.
not.
It's not worth it.
Right.
I don't feel like you're missing anything.
Yeah.
Do you miss smoking pot?
It helped me sleep.
Yeah.
Like I have trouble sleeping.
Oh, really?
So,
How come?
just because I am in a constant state of panic. Also, I just got a lot going on in my
Yeah.
head, and then like at work, like you sleep for an hour and then you're up and your adrenaline's going, and it just
That's gotta be tough to trying to go home and
Yeah.
unplug from that. You can't just
Yeah.
go back to normal.
yeah.
I worked at a factory and I would have to be at work at 3. But I would still stay up until like 11.
Mhm.
And like I've never been able to recover since
Right.
my sleep
Yeah.
schedule.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
It's hard.
sucks. It is hard. All right, I think we've covered everything. Do you feel good?
Feel great.
I feel really good. What else do you want to talk about? What kind of good closing words do you have for us? I'll put you on the spot like a dozen times today.
Good closing words. Oh, I don't know.
That's kind of the theme of this season. Is,
Then there it is.
reality is reality. Has
I
been the
don't
theme
know.
of this episode.
Good luck.
Yeah, and the overall arching theme is.
Yep.
We can go out with that. Appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much. It took us a few
Thanks
times
for having me.
to align our schedules.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, no, that's not your fault. I mean, you're an important person. You got a lot of real things going on. You took a trip even at some point. Where did you go?
I think I took 2 trips.
That's probably true.
I went
Where
to
did you-
Italy,
Yeah,
in
that's
March.
Right. You went to Italy.
and then I was in Philadelphia last week.
That's not for work.
That was for work.
Both of them. Not Italy.
No, Italy was for fun.
Just for you. Did you go by yourself?
I met some of my friends there. We rode horses through Tuscany.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
It was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So you do cool things
Yeah.
when you can.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.